Here's your WNEM TV5 News Update.
Good evening, everyone. I'm David Custer. Here's a look at the stories we are following tonight. Not long ago, Michigan was among the states with the lowest coronavirus infection rates, but now our state has the second highest COVID-19 case rate per capita in the U.S. And that alarming spike is worrying public health experts in the United States. This as the state of Michigan reports more than 5,200 new cases of coronavirus and 49 new deaths, 30 of those identified during a vital records review. Now that brings the state's total to more than 642,000 cases as the death toll approaches 16,000. Officials say the resurgence is being fueled by loosened restrictions, more infectious variants, and pandemic fatigue. While rising vaccination rates provide protection for seniors, hospitalizations are up among younger adults and outbreaks are threatening in-person instruction at schools. However, Governor Gretchen Whitmer said she doesn't plan to tighten restrictions on indoor dining and sports. More than 30,000 Flint residents already registered to participate in the water crisis settlement. That settlement covers people who claim injury, property damage, or business loss from exposure to contaminated water. Payments will vary depending on exposure and injury. Children are supposed to get 80%. The deadline to register is next Monday, and you can find more information in the hot link section of WNEM.com. And now here's Brian with a look at your forecast.
Well, thanks very much, David. A little bit of everything coming our way as recently as over the next 12 to 18 hours, courtesy of, I guess, what we'll term a more classic spring storm system here in Michigan, at least an early spring storm system anyway. Now, first and foremost, area of low pressure, a powerful one at that, centered over Arkansas tonight, producing yet again another widespread, intense tornado outbreak across parts of Alabama, Georgia, and into the Carolinas tonight. As that low then gathers its strength a bit more, tracks into Illinois, parts of Indiana, and then ultimately toward the state here tomorrow. We're going to avoid the severe weather with this system, but most of this heavier rain that you see in parts of Illinois and Missouri, that is going to track our way as we move on into the overnight period. It is going to be a good beneficial soaking rain for us, possibly even with a few tossed in rumbles of thunder. But we have this cold front here to consider, which has already dragged some chillier air back in across the northern half of the mitten. So it's not going to be purely rain for everybody. Here's what I mean. Hour by hour forecast going into the 9 o'clock hour this evening. That's when we see some broken bands of lighter rain beginning to break out from the Tri-Cities in toward the Caro, Bad Axe, Reese areas and southbound toward I-69. That'll gradually kind of work its way farther northwest. Some light rain breaking out toward Standish and Sterling, Houghton Lake, Clare by about the midnight hour, with those lighter, steadier rains continuing to hover over the thumb in I-69. But it's around 2 to 3 o'clock in the morning when we really start to get into the meat of this system. Intense rain falling from the Tri-Cities all across the thumb, Flint metro area, back toward Alma and Ithaca, continuing to pinwheel its way gradually off toward the north-northwest. Morning commute tomorrow morning. While most of us will be encountering rain, it's going to be a mess because as you see here, 6 o'clock hour, we've got a lot of heavy downpours falling basically across the entirety of mid-Michigan. More concerning is this area of pink that we start to see developing near, say, the Houghton Lake, Lake George areas that'll then pinwheel its way in across M55. That's where we're likely going to see some mixed in snow and potentially some freezing rain tossed in, adding further treacherous conditions to the morning commute for you folks on the north shore of the bay. Around mid-morning, we start to see the steady rains lessen in their intensity, but continue nonetheless across most of the area, before then finally by about midday, the system begins to depart and we quickly break into some sunshine tomorrow afternoon. So breaking this down point by point. First things first, beneficial side of things. Inch of rain is going to be the benchmark for just about everybody across mid-Michigan, maybe closer to about 3/4 of an inch for you in and around the Houghton Lake area. Locally higher amounts up to 1.25 inches, maybe even 1.5 inches possible through the storm's duration when it winds down afternoon tomorrow. More concerningly is the wintry side of things that we're expecting to see on the north shore of the bay. Toward places like West Branch, Houghton Lake, Rose City, and Lupton, just to the northwest side of Oscoda and in toward Harrisville, you're looking at the likelihood of up to 2 inches of wet, slushy snow accumulation. Tossed in there will be upwards of about 1/10 of an inch of ice due to any mixed in freezing rain. So please be especially careful tomorrow morning if you have to commute anywhere along or north of M55, and be careful in general because Wintry weather or not, like we said, we're going to at least have some heavy rain coming down during the morning drive tomorrow. 38's the overnight low for tonight, getting chillier once again, rain heavy at times and a wintry mix developing overnight. It's going to be breezy too. We got a northeast wind coming in at about 10 to 20 miles per hour. And then in your First Warn 5 7-day forecast, we go to 47 for the high tomorrow. That wintry mix in the morning, departing to sunnier skies in the afternoon. 53 on Saturday with afternoon showers. Leftover rain and snow showers Sunday morning with a high of 48. And then our reward Monday and Tuesday, more sunshine coming back to the region and highs getting back to the 50s and then 60s.
Remember to tune into WNEM TV5 on air and online 24/7 for the latest news, weather, and information.